folks! In this video you can watch me sculpt this 28mm space shark leader from scratch in time-lapse. In the beginning I start to build the understructure for the legs. I use milliput for the step because it sets very hard once cured and the rougher surface makes green stuff, or in my case a greenstuff milliput mix, stick to it pretty well. The armature is a bended paperclip wire which I prepared before. You find a link to the tutorial video of those in the description below. I apply the first layers of milliput with my fingers and use my wax carvers and silicone shapers to get it into the right shape. Since this miniature will be a sci-fi future kind of soldier, I also built a thick armor understructure for the lower legs and flat square shaped feet. Once everything has the right shape, the first step is nearly finished. A good understructure is necessary to sculpt later a smooth armor surface on top. I also add some putty to build an understructure for the torso. And here you can see the final result of the first step. Now it's time to add some green stuff, or in my case a mix of milliput and green stuff with a ratio of 60-40 to the understructure of the miniature. First I apply a thin layer of freshly mixed putty to the legs and feet. I call the step blocking in, and later I will press in the details of the armor once everything is cured a little bit. Again I use my wax 5 and other wax carvers and silicone shapers, of course, to get rid of fingerprints and to get the surface flat and smooth, to get the illusion of a sci-fi armor. Now that everything is in place, it's time to cut or press in the details of the armor. Mostly I add some straight lines to get a futuristic kind of look, or to build connections between the armor parts, or to add some cable-like structures. Here you can see the final result of step number 2 with the finished legs. Next up, I will sculpt the backside of his pants, or the backside of the armor, and I will add more details to the leg armor, because this will be the leader of the space sharks in the end. I roll out some putty on a flat surface, smooth it with my chisel-shaped silicone shaper, and cut off stripes of putty using my hobby knife. I add those stripes to the knee area. Press some holes into them with a mechanical pencil to get the look of some rivets. Afterwards I add 2 more stripes to the armor and press into straight lines. And here you can see the final result. Next off, I will sculpt the belt, including some pockets and cables for the front arm. For the belt, I use the same technique as before by rolling putty flat and cutting it into shape. I gently wrap the stripe around the body and add a ball of putty for the belt buckle. I cut out a fin-shaped piece of putty and add it to the belt buckle. I add some more putty for the 3 pockets in the front cables and some belt details. I use my ball-headed needle tool and my wax carvers to shape everything and to add horizontal lines for the cables. The buttons of the pockets are pre-made in cured putty balls, which got pressed into the right place. I have made lots of those before out of leftover putty. So I can choose which size is the most fitting for this job. Here you can see the finished step. Now it's time to sculpt the upper body armor. First I add some putty and press it around the torso. I flat it out and push in a hole for the neck. Use my round-shaped silicone shaper for this job. I add a putty sausage around the neck area and punch in the borders. I also push in 2 holes on the side of the body armor, where I will later drill and add armature wire for the arms. I also add a stripe of putty to the front armor and add a tiny ball to it to build or to sculpt a skull out of it. I use the same technique for the skull as I used in my skull shield video. You find the link to the video in the description below. And that's it! Here you can see the finished body. Now it's time for the head and face of the miniature. The understructure for the head is a small piece of copper wire which I drilled into the torso and later added milliput to it. I did this step off camera. To sculpt the face I add a thin layer of putty first and later I block in the rough details. I start with 2 holes for the eye sockets and then I add small pieces of putty for the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the cheekbones, the mouth and the chin. once they are blocked in and roughly sketched out, I use different sculpting tools to work out the details. I add more putty for the haircut and 2 putty balls for the ears. I spend a lot of time with pushing the putty to get everything into the desired shapes and to get the right facial expression. Here you can see the finished head. He looks a bit like Kirk Douglas from the Spartacus movie. Here you can see the understructure for the arms. It's copper wire drilled and pushed into the torso with a layer of milliput. This step was also done off camera. Now it's time to add some milligreen and to sculpt the right arm. I start with blocking in the rough shapes. Since he is holding a gun, I wrapped a little flat piece of putty around the handle for the fingers. The thumb is an extra putty sausage which gets added a little later. Once everything is in place, I'll begin to push in the details. For the elbow joint I used 2 putty balls with 2 smaller ones on top. The trigger of the gun and the handle are putty pieces which get sculpted directly onto the hand. And here you can see the first arm finished. Now it's time to sculpt the left one. The steps for the left arm are basically the same as the ones before. The only difference is a slightly different pose, and that is you're holding some kind of energy axe. I start to block in the shapes and later I work out the details. I also sculpt the X without the X head and add a fresh putty ball to the handle. On top I push a tiny pre-made ball. And that's it. Both arms are now finished. Next up, I add both shoulder plates to the arms. They are basically bigger oval-shaped pieces of putty, which gets pushed in place and afterwards reworked with my trusty sculpting tools. The right shoulder pad gets one extra putty ball on top, which gets pressed flat. I used my silicone shapers to get them real smooth and flat, and to get rid of fingerprints. Here you can see the finished result. Now it's time to finish up the weapons. I start sculpting the gun. First off, I start to wrap some putty around the understructure. Following this step, I add more pieces of putty. Since this weapon will be some kind of energy blaster, I add some putty sausages as cables and 2 small bores for the gun barrel. Once everything is in place, I start to cut in the details with my wax 5. And here you can see the finished gun. For the axe head, I do basically the same steps. I wanted to add a little shark head on top, so I had to follow some steps for sculpting the face. Like pushing in eye sockets or cutting in tiny teeth. I also added a small fin to the shark head out of a piece of putty. After a lot of pushing the putty, you can see here the final result. The shark fin backpack was sculpted off camera, but with the same techniques as before. I simply drilled a small bended piece of copper wire into the back and sculpted directly onto that wire. In the last step you can see me adding a scroll or banner to the left shoulder pad. It's basically a flat cut into shape piece of putty which I gently pushed onto the shoulder pad. after some time of reworking, the shape is finished. You can see here the final result. And that's it! The Space Shark leader is finally finished. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, and remember to subscribe to my channel. And a big thanks goes out to all my patrons.